Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Jessie, and today we have a quick impromptu 48-hour readathon hosted by myself for myself because this has been a very slumpy reading month in April. And I'm coming out of my slump, but there's only 2 days left in the month, and there's 2 books I would like to get read really quickly. So hence why on the 28th of April at 5 p.m. I am starting a new reading vlog. I intend to reread All the Stars and Teeth by Adeline Grace and start and finish All the Tides of Fate, also by Adeline Grace. I have downloaded the audiobooks on Libby, so I hope to, read them a little bit more quickly than, if I wasn't listening to the audiobooks. Actually, I'm about to fold laundry and start the audiobook for All the Stars and Teeth. All the Tides of Fate was actually on my April TBR. I have done a very poor job of just reading in general this month, but especially of sticking to my TBR. So I'd like to knock one more book off my TBR for the month. And before I read it though, I need to refresh my memory of this book. I remember the basics of this book, but I don't remember enough to think I would actually enjoy this book as much as I would if I had my memories refreshed. Anyways though, like I said, I'm gonna start in a minute, but before I start, I wanted to tell you what All the Stars and Teeth is about. All the Stars and Teeth is about this princess named Amora, and they live in this world kind of where everyone has magic, or most people have magic, and most people get to pick the magic they want to dabble in. Whereas Amora and her family, the royal family, they have to use, I think, soul magic or something. No one can use 2 magics, that's dangerous. And so I guess now it's time for the ruler to come of age, or this like princess or prince, whatever, to come of age. There's some type of ceremony or demonstration where Amora, who is the princess, would have to show her power and demonstrate her power to her people, but something goes wrong. She runs away with this guy named Bastian on a pirate ship, and they have to figure out what's going on. There's this new magic coming out that they need to figure out, what's going on, how to fix it, how to fix this mistake Amora made during her demonstration, how to make sure she can rule successfully. And so I'm excited to reread this one. I really enjoyed it last year when I read it. I don't remember what I rated it. I don't think it was a 5-star read. I think it was probably a 4-star read. I don't remember much about it though. I do know that I'm excited to read it, and also just look how pretty these 2 spines are together. I will catch up with you after I've read somewhere between a quarter, a third, or half of this book, and I'll let you know how it's going. Hey, it is the next day. I have read I think just under 40% of All the Stars and Teeth. I was mostly listening to the audiobook last night. I also didn't wake up before Rowan, so I'm updating you guys while he's awake, and you may hear him playing in the background, and I think he's coming over here to check out what's going on. Hey. Hi. Come here, don't touch, okay? So I'm enjoying this reread so far. I also double checked. I originally rated this book 4 stars, and so far I can see why. I'm really enjoying it. It's really interesting. I'm having a good time reading it. I'm so far trying to figure out either is this book underhyped, or am I just not following people who read it, or am I just still too early into the story and maybe something changes later on. I don't know, but I'm enjoying it so far. There are some thoughts that I've had that I think I either didn't pick up on the first time, or I don't remember picking up on the first time. The first thing is Amora at the beginning of the book kind of reminds me of Simba from The Lion King whenever he sings "I just can't wait to be king," and he's talking about all these changes he'll make, and Amora is talking about how she'll have the islands brought together more often for celebratory stuff, and just kind of being really optimistic about what she wants out of being queen once she demonstrates her magic to her people, and she has proven that she can control her magic, right? The other big thought I've had is there are these 2 people who are really close to Amora at the beginning. They work for the palace in some way, and I can't remember for sure, but I feel like I remember one of them betraying her. I'm just trying to remember which. And like I said, I'm not sure. I may be misremembering, but I feel like I kind of remember that. And that seems like something that would happen in this book. Also, another thing that I started thinking about that I don't remember thinking about in the first time I read it is, so Amora has to demonstrate her magic to her people, right? And she has magic where she can control souls, or she can view souls, control them, something like that, right? And there's a few different aspects to her magic, but one of those aspects is a little bit more grotesque than other aspects. This more grotesque aspect has never been used as a demonstration before, and so that ends up being Amora's demonstration. It kind of horrifies the people watching, right? And that kind of takes Amora out of her element. She kind of, loses control of her magic a little bit, and it's kind of like she was set up to fail in a way, which doesn't make sense because I don't remember her father turning on her or anything. And I'm pretty sure he's the one in charge of setting up the demonstration. So like, it doesn't make sense, but at the same time, it does seem like she was set up to fail because, you know, she's showing this like ugly part of her magic that horrifies the people, and that she was expecting to be praised by all of her people and for them to love her and respect her and to have a good time watching her use her magic. And then this demonstration happens. Another thought I had while reading this, there's one at some point Amora gets punished for the demonstration going wrong, and she ends up being broken out by this guy named Bastion and her fiance Varric. The fiance didn't really break her out. He actually went to go try to kidnap her back from Bastion, unsuccessfully, might I add. But the three of them end up on this other island that's pretty much known for enchantments. I can't remember the name of it, but essentially they're there, everything is going okay. They go to leave, and in order to get away because something's going on, someone kind of changes their appearances a little bit so they can get away. And I think it was kind of funny that the thing that ends up giving Amora away, because I think she's like, you know, kind of disguised as a man, is her period starts like, you know, just in the middle of the chase and trying to leave. And I thought that was kind of funny that, you know, of all the things to give her away, that was it. But anyways, I am probably going to try to read some more. We're expecting a rainy day today. It's just cloudy so far. It's been drizzling a little bit, but we're expecting a rainy day, so I'm going to probably continue the audiobook while I do some chores today. We're kind of just having a quiet day at home, but I feel like we were out all day yesterday. We had to go to town in the morning, run errands, and then around lunchtime, Rowan had his speech therapy, and then we picked Chris up and he took us home, and then he went back to work and we stayed home, I guess. I don't know, it feels like we did a lot yesterday, even though we didn't really. And so today, I'm going to maybe catch up on sorting laundry, because that's my least favorite chore, and vacuuming, which is my second least favorite chore, while I also listen to the audiobook for this. And I will let you know probably my final thoughts when I finish this book. Hey, I just finished All the Stars and Teeth. I can see why I rated it 4 stars last year. It's definitely a solid 4-star read, and I do feel like for the most part it is pretty underhyped. I don't really see very many people talking about this book. I think around the time the second book came out, I saw a few more people talking about it. It was a really good read. It was really good. I really enjoyed my reread of it. I really enjoyed picking up on stuff and hints I didn't pick up on the first time I read it. Like, there's some hints surrounding Bastion and something he's going through, and like why he doesn't have magic, that as you follow the book or as the book goes on, there's hints dropped, and I don't think I really picked up on the hints the first time I read the book. Also, I can't remember earlier if I told you, there are 2 characters that are close to Amora whenever she's still in the palace before, you know, everything changes, and I told you one of them, I couldn't remember for sure, but I thought one of them betrays her. One of them does technically betray her, but it's not technically by choice, so I think it's okay. But like I said, this is a really good book. I'm a little frustrated by Amora at the end because, you know, she gets this one thing that she'd really started to want as, you know, their adventure drew to a close. And then once she got it, because it didn't come the way that she would have wanted it to, she didn't like it, which I understand. I wouldn't want what happened, I guess, or I would feel pressured and not sure if I wanted something, I guess, after it'd been forced on me, even if it was something I originally wanted, because now she's not sure, you know, is it her actual choice or is it not? In this next book, whenever I summarize all the Tides of Fate, I might spoil the ending to this one just a little bit. In this one, Amora is now the queen. She's ruling her people. She has to kind of, you know, keep it a secret that she doesn't have her magic anymore, and that she's essentially tied to Bastion, that she's tied to him the way he was tied to something in the first book, and she can't use her magic anymore, and she also has to keep all this a secret from her kingdom. I think she's like now telling her people that they are actually able to use more than one magic, but she's trying to keep the like way that, or the reason that she found out, kind of under wraps, at least until she has, I guess, a more solid answer for her people. And she says, like, you know, she doesn't want to lie to them unnecessarily. Essentially, she's kind of following in the same footsteps as her father without realizing it, in my opinion. But anyways, I'm assuming the original crew, Bastion and the mermaid, I don't remember her name, I think they're gonna go on a search for this artifact that could solve everything, including like this new curse that Amora is dealing with. But I'm about to get ready to start this book, and I will probably catch up with you sometime near the 50% mark and let you know how it's going. All right, hey, I'm about 60% of the way into All the Tides of Fate, and I like it so far, but I don't think I love it the same way I did All the Stars and Teeth. It's good, but like it definitely feels like a second book. And also I don't know what it is about, you know, sequels, but I hate the first few chapters of any second book I read. Like the first few chapters when you start the sequel to something, you may have just heard Thunder, are the worst to read. I don't know what it is about it. They just always feel awkward and clunky, even if they're not technically. They just never feel right to me. I'm into the story and it's good, but I feel like there's a little bit more filler in this one than there was in the first one. Amora is off to look for this guy right now who knows about this ancient artifact that can hopefully restore her magic and repair the curse that is between her and Bastion. And while she's looking for this, she's also technically on a trip or that her advisors sent her on to make herself look better to her kingdom. That's really all that's going on. It's not bad. It's not as good as the first one so far. I am probably about to listen to the audiobook for a little bit longer tonight, and I'll probably update you guys early in the morning if I finish it tonight or if I finish it tomorrow. So I just finished All the Tides of Fate by Adeline Grace, and I think I'm gonna have to give it a 3.5-star rating. On Goodreads, I'll probably put a 4-star rating, but on Storygraph, I'm gonna go and put a 3.5-star rating. This was a good book for the most part. It was interesting, and I liked some parts of it, but there were also quite a few things I wasn't a fan of. And for me, I really enjoyed spending more time with the characters. I enjoyed spending more time with Amora and Bastion and Barrick and all the other people from the first book. But the actual story, I didn't really like that much. I kind of wish that, you know, basically the first book had ended without Amora losing her magic and everything and gotten solved in the first book, because I feel like if that had happened, I mean, if that happened, there definitely wouldn't have been a need for this book. But I don't know, even with Amora's magic being gone after the end of the first book, it still feels like there's almost no real need for this book. To me, it just felt like a whole lot of filler. Like the book was all filler up until the very end, and then I didn't really like something that happened in the end anyways. It kind of made me sad. I wasn't particularly attached to anybody, but the ending was kind of sad and it bothered me a little bit, and I understand why. It makes sense in some ways, but in some ways it doesn't. And just like I said, I mostly enjoyed getting to spend a little bit more time with Amora and Bastion and everybody else, but I think I could have gone without reading this book. Like, I think I could have, you know, just imagined a happier ending to the first book without ever having to have read this book. And like I said, it's definitely not a bad book. It's just, to me, I didn't really like what was done in this book. I wasn't a fan of how it was handled, and because of that, it's just like a 3.5-star rating. It wasn't bad, but it did hold my attention, and it held my attention. It wasn't, to me, it wasn't as necessary as it should have felt to have been a sequel. I do think this is definitely a cute little duology, or not, I don't know if you'd necessarily say cute. There's some pretty brutal fight scenes, I guess, technically. This is an interesting little duology. I did enjoy it. I loved the first one. It was great. The second one was good, and you might have better luck with it than I did. Also, I just love the way the spines look together. Anyways, though, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. If I haven't told you already, please feel free to like this video and subscribe to my channel to make finding my content every Tuesday and every other Thursday just a little bit easier on yourselves. Thank you for hanging out with me for this little impromptu readathon. I met my goal. I finished both these books. Today is Friday, April 30th. I finished these 2 books, and I've now finished 7 books for April. But anyways, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, and I will talk to you later. Bye.